To date, we know about 3,600 species of snakes, but only the king cobra can be considered a stranger among its kind. How did this happen? Let's find out. The king cobra is truly a unique species of snake. While the vast majority of them hunt mammals, insects, lizards, frogs, or even fish, this snake has chosen the strangest and most frightening menu. It devours its own kind. And it doesn't even have to choose. Anything that doesn't have time to crawl away fast enough is good enough to eat. And by fast enough, I mean really fast. The cobra itself travels on land at about 3 miles per hour, plus it swims quite well, and here's what its typical bout with a beauty rat snake looks like. It's a snake with black and yellow scales. Look, the cobra seems to literally mesmerize its prey, then a sharp throw. It takes a few seconds for the poor rat snake to no longer be able to resist. All that remains is to swallow its prey. The cobra does this without chewing, in one piece. Thanks to its flexible jaws, it can even eat a creature many times the size of its head. Offer a king cobra a Big Mac, it'll swallow it without blinking an eye. Wait, can snakes even blink? And here's the other item on the cobra's menu, the black rat snake. It's slimmer, more grayish, but that doesn't matter. The cobra's gonna eat it anyway. Slowly, and with pleasure, without even waiting for the poison to work. You see, the victim continues to wriggle. Although the cobra has already begun to swallow it, it's literally eating it alive. It's simply impossible to escape from the king cobra. If it goes out hunting, it's sure to find its prey, no matter where it's hiding, even underground. Here's a cobra climbing into a burrow to dine on a spectacle snake. How did it even know there was someone down there? It's just an incredible and very frightening predator. And by the way, the spectacle snake is also a hell of a poisonous creature. Some researchers claim that 1 gram of its dried venom can kill 140 medium-sized dogs. What does the king cobra think about that? That's right, it don't care. Well, we've learned you can't hide from it underground. Maybe you could take shelter in the water. Nope. Like I said, king cobras are pretty good at swimming short distances, and they'll certainly get in the water easily to get another spectacle snake. Cobras always get what they want. What's there to say? Even elephants are afraid of these snakes. And don't think that anything in the world, even harmless mice, scares them. Elephants just don't like mice because they're small and they're fast. With king cobras, it's a different story. The fact is that one poisonous bite is enough to kill an adult elephant, and I think elephants know that. And who would want to face a creature that can kill you without even breaking a sweat? But why are king cobras so dangerous? Well, nature just decided one day to create a species that terrifies everyone else. To get to the bottom of this, we first need to get a few things straight. There are several species of animals on our planet that are immune to poisons. These include mongooses, we've talked about them in an earlier video, some hedgehogs, skunks, possums, and of course, honey badgers, because they all hunt snakes, and in the process of evolution, they've simply managed to adapt to lethal bites. Some, like hedgehogs, have a lower immunity. At the same time, the honey badger's a real monster of the animal kingdom, capable, it seems, of killing and eating any snake it wants. There are also less obvious examples. For example, certain sea eels are immune to sea snake bites, and gophers in some parts of California can handle the bite of an adder.
Alan! Oh, so that's not Alan.
The evolution gave some gifts to king cobras as well. Their venom isn't considered the most dangerous in the world, and cobras haven't managed to become simply more venomous. But that didn't stop them from participating in an arms race with the rest of the venomous snakes. It turns out that to become the most dangerous snake on the planet, it's enough just to produce more neurotoxin.
1, 2, 3. This is the largest yield of venom I've ever seen produced out of a snake.
King cobras have so much of it that one bite is enough to kill 20 people in just a few minutes, or one elephant. But in a couple of hours, the venom of the king cobra affects the respiratory centers of the brain, causing respiratory arrest and heart failure. But that's not all. It's no coincidence that I listed species that have immunity to poisons. It sounds a bit strange, but the king cobra is also immune to them. As the largest venomous snake in the world, it's also completely immune to the venoms of other snakes it prefers to feed on. So what do we have? A huge poisonous snake with immunity to poison. Sounds like somebody's nightmare. No wonder king cobras are real killing machines. Well, for killing snakes to be precise, because thankfully they don't prey on humans or elephants. It seems to me that king cobras are ready to attack at any time, even if it's shortly after birth. Yep, you got it right. It doesn't take long for these snakes to start killing their own kind. If they're hungry, they'll get food. Oh, what's that, an appetizer? Thank you. My compliments to the cook. But it just doesn't happen that someone gets lucky all the time, even if that someone is a king cobra. The one here is clearly having a bad day. It was just born and immediately fell prey to a saltwater crocodile. What about all the other animals that cobras share territory with? I won't talk about mongooses, monkeys, or birds. Let's talk about really dangerous predators, the Bengal tiger. Now that commands respect, but king cobras don't care. Usually big cats try to stay away from these snakes so they don't get their deadly bite. However, there is a known case where a king cobra was found in the stomach of a dead tiger. Guess what the tiger died of? That's right, poison. The Philippine cobra is one of the many venomous snakes that live in the Philippines, and it's rightly feared by the king cobra because it's part of its menu. If you suddenly see these two snakes fighting, you know which one to bet on. The Komodo varan is a true modern-day dragon, most likely venomous as well. They usually don't meet, but if an encounter did occur, I don't think the snake would have had the strength to bite through its thick skin. The Eurasian brown bear, well, no chance here. It's smaller than an elephant, so it'll probably die after one bite if it pisses the king cobra off. I know what you're thinking. What happens if two king cobras start fighting each other? Well, scientists know that sometimes the female will kill the male if mating doesn't go according to plan. Sometimes the male kills the female. But real snake duels also happen. No, even real jousts according to the rules of snake etiquette. At a certain age, male king cobras begin to travel in search of a mate, and sometimes instead of a female, they get other males. Awkward. Anyway, if such an encounter occurs, they go into a duel in which no one bites anyone. The males sort of weave each other and try to do their best to pin the opponent to the ground. This behavior is often confused with courtship, although it is in fact a classic wrestling contest, except that the rules aren't very clear. But then again, who would explain them? Cobras aren't very talkative at all. However, you can get some information without talking to the snakes. No talking, I said. Another time, Harry. The king cobra has at least one opponent in the snake world that can match it in strength, and that's the python. Yes, their clashes may well end up going something like this. Try to figure out who won. It seems that everything is decided by speed. If the king cobra manages to bite its opponent in the head area, it's guaranteed to die. But the python can also immediately tackle the king cobra just by squeezing it in its last embrace. No surprise here. According to research, the average python applies about 300 millimeters of mercury, just under 6 pounds per square inch, to its prey. If you think about it, that's not much. But a python doesn't need to squeeze its prey at all until it suffocates, just enough to cause irreparable damage to its internal organs, and that happens very quickly.
Yeah, it's amazing how strong it is.
And yet, the population of king cobras isn't declining rapidly because of pythons. They aren't monkeys who destroy other species. However, the number of king cobras declined by 30% from 1935 to 2010. Guess who, or rather, what caused it? Yep, deforestation is to blame. King cobras prefer to live where there are a lot of trees, and when there are fewer of them, the snakes start looking for a new home. And do you know where they crawl? To people. Actually, king cobras usually try to stay away from people. We aren't on the menu, and besides, we pose a danger. But recently, unpleasant encounters with snakes are occurring more and more often. By the way, scientists don't know how many king cobras exist in the world. Well, if deforestation continues, we'll soon find out everything. And we'll probably get to know the cobras a lot closer than we'd like. I'm not going to say anything about the environment or anything, but just think, would you be excited to meet one? I can't speak for all humanity, but I would prefer to stay as far away from the king cobras as possible, preferably somewhere on another continent. And yet, there's a place where these snakes aren't only loved, but also bred on purpose. Welcome to Snake Village in Thailand. The villagers have been raising and taming king cobras for decades. They do it to attract tourists who come in large numbers to see the unusual pets. But recently, it's becoming very difficult to get food for the pets. Well, you already know why. But this doesn't stop the locals from a very peculiar form of entertainment: boxing with a king cobra. How could anybody think of such a thing? No wonder almost everyone in this village has lost something. At best, it's a finger. A shame, of course, but not a big price to pay for literally beating one of the world's most dangerous snakes. Just in case, don't try this again. Watch your fingers and see you later.